Hello and welcome to the channel. After INEC declared Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress APC winner of the February 25th poll, the two other major contenders to the throne, Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party PDP and Peter Obi of the Labour Party LP, who emerged second and third runners-up, took their cases to court to challenge the results. They both requested INEC materials, specifically the Bimodal Voters Accreditation System (BVAS), which spectacularly or coincidentally or conveniently failed to work on the day. They wanted the machines inspected by their teams so as to provide evidence of election malpractices, which they believed hampered their chances of victory. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you. Obi, Atiku, and the BVAS conundrum. When three people lay claim to a mandate that only one can secure, the court drama is bound to be interesting. Yesterday evening, a three-member panel of the appellate court, led by Justice Ikieg, granted INEC permission to reconfigure the BVAS machines ahead of the governorship and houses of assembly elections across the 36 states. The panel, however, ordered INEC to upload the data on the BVAS machines to the back-end server and make the data CTC available to both Atiku and Obi. The latter was in court yesterday and was quite disappointed that he wasn't awarded the relief he sought. The story began last Friday when Justice Ikie granted the two separate applications for the inspection of INEC materials, which both Atiku and Obi said they would use to prove that the poll was rigged against them. All the electoral materials used in the conduct of the election for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Justice Ikieg ruled, while also granting the duo permission to do electronic scanning and or make photocopies of used ballot papers and carry out digital forensic inspection of BVAS machines used for the conduct of the February 25th presidential election. Mindful of the implication to its election timetable, INEC also approached the appellate court asking that the order be varied to allow the configuration of BVAS for use in the governorship and houses of assembly elections initially slated for this Saturday. The argument of INEC was that no time frame was given in the order obtained by both Atiku and Obi to inspect the over 176,000 BVAS devices used on 25th February. Statutorily, the governorship and state assembly elections must be held, with possible runoffs and supplementary elections concluded not later than 1 month before the end of tenure of the current holders of offices. That puts the deadline as 28 April for governors and the first week of June for state assembly members. If elections are not held as scheduled, 28 states may not have elected governors. Now that the BVAS machines will be reconfigured by INEC, what comfort is left for the aggrieved presidential candidates? As directed by the Court of Appeal, both Atiku and Obi can obtain the accreditation data transmitted to the back-end server. I understand that the scanned images of PU results, polling unit results, which are uploaded to the IREF portal, can also be obtained from INEC on request. But, considering what recently happened at the Osun State Gubernatorial Tribunal, there are issues regarding BVAS and judicial interpretations. Following the election won by Ademola Adeleke of PDP, the defeated Adegboyega Oyetola of the APC challenged the victory at the tribunal. When INEC realized that the CTC issued to the APC did not contain the synchronized data, the Commission tendered the complete CTC and physically delivered the BVAS machines for the over 740 polling units in contention to the tribunal. The idea was to clear up all doubts about the victory of Adeleke since the figures in the BVAS machines tally with the results declared. Despite being admitted in evidence, the tribunal still relied on the first CTC issued by the Commission for its judgment, thus declaring the defeated Governor Oyetola victorious simply by placing no value on the physical BVAS that I understand remain in their custody. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and please turn the notification bell on. Thank you. Since INEC does not have over 176,000 BVAS machines as contingency provision to replace those used for the presidential and National Assembly elections, One can understand why the appeal court made the order it did yesterday. The gubernatorial elections in 28 states and House of Assembly elections in 36 states cannot be conducted without beavers. The law makes electronic voter accreditation mandatory, unlike the collation of results, which are still essentially manual. Although in the current public discourse, the matter is obfuscated to create the opposite impression. But the ruling in favor of INEC has created its own problem. Both Atiku and Obi will argue that lack of access to the beavers weakens their case. It also puts INEC on the spot on the issue of transparency and accountability. It is important for INEC to be cautious of the potential risks of human error in the deployment of beavers and their result viewing portal iRev. But even the most implacable critic of INEC will admit that our elections are better with the new technologies. We only need to improve on them and make allowances for environmental factors. For instance, if a machine can accredit a voter with their biometrics, what do we need the permanent voters card (PVC) for? Even with it, if Beavers doesn't accredit you, you cannot vote. Then, why print ballot papers when you could simply upload e-ballot papers via integrated voting software to enable people choose their preferred candidate immediately after they've been verified by the Beavers? That way, you reduce the number of invalid votes and you save the country the billions of naira for printing and the logistics nightmare that comes with carrying them around. The same goes for ballot boxes. Perhaps we should begin to explore the idea of a one-day general election as it is done in most countries, including within the West African sub-region. That will eliminate this kind of problem we are now confronted with. But I consider it unfortunate that the deployment of technology tools designed to aid the credibility of the 2023 general election has ended in a fiasco. Meanwhile, heartbroken first-time voters in Nigeria are being urged not to give up after the candidate that many of them backed came third in the presidential race 2 weeks ago. This is because crucial state elections are being held later this month after a last-minute delay where governors and local assemblies will be chosen. It is the state governments that build schools, hospitals, and inner-city roads and are responsible for transport and other essential services. Some of the young voters who took an interest in politics and backed the Labour Party's Peter Obi have become disillusioned by election day antics in some areas, ballot box snatching, violence, and the late arrival of electoral officials that disenfranchised many. That's the news, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time, bye.